Okay, what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Huey. With me, it is Flannels, and we are excited to bring ESC Nationals Grand Finals here. And we are getting away with Marvel Rivals, PISD on blue, and on the attacker it will be LEM. Both groups were number one in their respective groups A and B, with, if I'm not mistaken, LEM taking a slight lead ahead. But either way, it is going to be a best of 5 in this grand finals, and it's going to be an explosive one. And I am excited to get along away with this first game. Flannels, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Huey. It should be an exciting series that we have going on between these two teams, you know, coming out on top of both of their divisions, 1A and 1B. And we're already seeing some interesting picks and bans here right off the rip, considering we're starting off with Yggdrasil Path Convoy. So it's going to be really nice to see that Groot banned out by PISD, as that's a key hero people like to use for defensive side to hold that first corner.
It is an interesting pick, and it is a great ban there to get rid of the Groot, just to get away from that corner pressure as well, too, as we are going to see for the last round of bans here. And it is going to be our favorite ninja taken away here, Psylocke, as we see the lock-in starting to come in. Is there anyone you're excited to see, or who is a must on Yggdrasil?
On Yggdrasil, it's really going to depend on what type of composition we see come out. Like right here, we're seeing the Elsa still, you know, even despite changes with her previously or even now, she's still very prominent in her damage output, and you know, getting those vital Glartroxes off are going to be a key factor in how some of these fights are going to play out. But it looks like PISD is going to go with that full committal dive here on defense, actually, which is an interesting role to go with on dive, having that DD. But you know, the advantage of running the Daredevil to have that, you know, scouting ability to know where the opponent is just a really integral part of being able to deal with the oncoming offense.
For sure. I honestly like this. I think I like this approach a lot. I like this aggressive, especially coming from an attacker. I want you to go straight through the middle, hold it down, and just kind of keep the lockdown and the pressure going on, especially with how rampant it can get into Marvel Rivals. I think we are now ready to go. We do see the flank positions blocked and covered, as we didn't really get too into the team composition, but it's nothing too out of the ordinary, as we are going to watch Mooney start to try to set things up and try to hold this convoy down as the whole.
Yeah, they got to really actually be very aggressive here, as they don't have a shield tank.
No.
Mooney's going to get carbon crushed right away by the Emma, but they're not going to be able to catch him fully just yet, as he does actually go down in form. And this is going to be the first elimination of the game, taken by Null. Cal retaliating back, though, onto J-Mac, and they're going to even that out, Vanguard for Vanguard right now. And on the defense, Lamore goes retreating back to their spawn, as PISD does a great job pushing them off of the point.
Really good start on to the defense. Going to hold them from this first checkpoint. Lamar going to have to regroup and reconvene on to the spot here, as they are going to have four. They're going to have the full team onto the push here, as we get to watch the angle of Noel finding another kill onto that, bloating down the damage as he tries to find Cal 3, looking for a nice mark on the double kill. Going to push forward there or get pushed into by Magix, and it has to respect that. But, oh, very good exchange here for the side of LEM.
Yeah, and already we're going to see the Ultron swap off to the Rocket Raccoon, just to give them that additional stall out with the BRB beacon. Kraken Impact coming out, already claiming one, getting the reset,
Here we
looking
go
for another, finds him in the sky for two, and it's another again, finding the Angela, needing to take her out of the sky, uppercuts her behind the portal, and that is going to be another one down for PISD, and Lamore is going to keep this momentum rolling, all while only burning one ultimate in that exchange. So they still have 4 ultimates to work with here coming into the second point.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what you're looking for. Already getting the checkpoint at a decent angle, having advantage on ultimates as well, too. They should be able to get through the middle section of Yggdrasil pretty relatively a lot easier. And if, in theory, with having all the ultimates, they should be able to get through it a lot faster, having a lot more time to try to close out this first round, which always, momentum is such a huge factor here in Rivals.
Yeah, we're going to see Noel Dud finding a big Sonic Seduction there, getting all of PISD and making them have to retreat as their Elsa is just going to free fire on the back line. Not really having to burn anything out of that.
No, honestly, Prosper is really still have been on the back foot. Lamora just found that a good exchange that first round and have not looked back. They have not gotten and pressed the brakes yet. I really like their composition of how they've just been so aggressive and finding really good approaches and angles. As we see, no J-Mac just applying the pressure here on Magneto, looking to turn the corner, finds the tank on Fred. They're gonna get the reset, keep it pushing here. Noel and Guybro as well. Really nice duo composition from these two.
Yeah, and it was just Slushy right now. It's the Slushy show, just on a roll with this Winter Soldier, finding pick after pick and just being really aggressive. You know, Bucky does fire those Magnum rounds down the lane, and we're going to see that swap over for PISD as well. And they're going to look to find a back one on the backside.
Nice.
Going for
this is huge.
They're dropping low. Magneto, Meteor M up, finding the clipping dagger. Fried Pickle takes him out. That's going to be the carpet away for Lamore, and they're going to have to be on the back foot now as PISD goes full aggression, looking to push them back to spawn.
That was extremely clean from the side of Prosper. Character swapping and finding an angle when they have been on the back foot for so long. It was a fantastic approach here. But you've mentioned it earlier, Flannels. Lamore have just been doing so well, and it's really because of this front line that Slushy is having such an easier time finding these angles. And again, watching J-Mac and watching Emma, they are just hooking and allowing Slushy to find another kill back-to-back yet again. They are so close to finishing, just about 3 meters left, as they are now pushing the rest of Prosper behind and holding them into their spawn point.
Now the Raging Royal Flush is out now. They're going to go full aggression. Cheaper Town Hall by Vastlight looking to find another kill. The Raging Royal Flush ERS on the back line. Going to take out Slushy. And Vastlight is on a roll with a double kill to momentum carry PISD into a nice hold. And it's, you know, they really needed that hold there coming out of it because, you know, they had the Psionic Seduction straight into it. Fortunately, they had really good support with that Raging Royal Flush to back them up as they came out of spawn to stop them just before the point.
My thing is it going to be enough, though? There's still 3 minutes on the clock here for the side of Lamore, and they don't have ultimates yet, but they definitely will be able to mount up some ultimates as we get to see this approach yet again. That's like flying through the air with his heavy kicks, but I don't think he's going to be able to escape Noel Slushy as he finds a double, as J-Mac finds another one. 3 down for the side of Prosper.
And the Kraken Impact out once more to finish off Pickle, and that is going to be the offensive side down for Lamore. A relentless assault by them. That's a lot of pressure with an Elsa and Winter Soldier just firing down the lane. You know, Vastlight did a good job there getting out after getting pulled in, but, you know, wasn't able to survive in it as there's just too much damage coming in as he was trying to get away.
No, 100%. Lamore applied the pressure from that first round, never looked back, was able to secure all 3 checkpoints there, and has plenty of time if Prosper is able to mount such a serious attack just like that. But one has to be a little hesitant with how the defense went. They held them down for a bit, but still, 2 minutes for overtime, which you always got to look forward to, is that's a lot, man. Normally, you usually see it that it's about 30 seconds to about a minute or so.
Yeah, and, you know, now we're going to get to see PISD on offense, and this is where that dive does come into play. We're actually seeing Pickle on Moon Knight right now. Normally really does like playing Angela. That's what they started on last time on defense. But, you know, they might just be using the Moon Knight here for spawn break purposes. Usually teams like to really bunker down on this first point. But I think PISD on defense just had a difficult time with their character swaps and trying to get their footing down, and they couldn't really get it until that final point. But by then, Lamore just had so much pressure into that spawn area that they just didn't really have much room to work with or to fall back to.
Yeah, no, 100%. So hopefully they found and understood the assignment a little better through this first round, and let's see how they come out of the gate as the big damage coming down. Vats, Port, and Pickle going to be able to find 3 on the side of Lamore. That's exactly what they need to get out of the gate and to start pushing this convoy.
Yeah, nice early pick there for them, and that's exactly what they're going to need. They actually have the pressure still on over in the back, and that Venom and Daredevil are going to be vital parts in this offense to really just keep that pressure on. Portal coming through, going for an early portal here to stop it. Might find a pick here out of the portal window, but they're actually being held up. The cart is inside the portal, so they actually have to maneuver around to the other side. They're getting body blocked by the cart. They can't get out. Their tanks are on the other side just waiting. Slushy looking for a kill. Manages to get the Venom low. He has to swing out, and they're going to be able to stall PISD out for this time. Great job by their tanks. In fact, there's actually one PISD member on the backside. They find the ORS. J-Mac picking off one of the strategists, so that is going to take away PISD's ability to sustain here in this exchange. Slushy knowing that the Daredevil is there and just doesn't want to turn their eye from him.
He said, I know you're here. Please, just stay away. But honestly, really good mounting this defense here from the side of Lamore, as we saw Prosper coming right around that corner, finding 3 of the side of Lamore very easily. So to be able to mount such a quick comeback here is really nice on the side of Lamore.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need it. Fortunately, they're not running any flyers this time, but the Eternal Bond is out. Magneto, Meteor M looking for it. Will they get the connect? But they are protected. No Eternal Bond going to be going down here, so they're going to be able to keep that sustain out. Kraken impact into the group on the back line, but Banana Boy finds 1, and that's going to be Guybro and Banana for another, pushing back the members of PISD once more as they're in full retreat, and that is going to be a wipeout for PISD. Great defensive stop by Lamore.
This is not looking good here. Even getting the checkpoint here, you're only going to get about 90 seconds. I don't know if it's going to be enough to get all the way there. That's like getting dropped down with the long-range 3-point shot. No Slushy is something to behold here.
Yeah, a little bit of a stagger there, getting picked off at the end. So, they just got to wait a moment until the rest of their team gets there. Almost gets a pick again out the door, and diving in goes Mooney, looking for it with the Abyss from below, but doesn't get the finishing blow. Able to stay alive, Banana Boy doesn't get in that Raging Royal Flush, though, and we're going to be on the offensive turn. Vastlight diving in on that Daredevil, trying to let the devil out, but it's not finding a secured kill just yet, and getting really low. Does fall to Doug Guybro, so that is going to be a backline dive down, and that might not spell all too well for PISD, but Fort does find 1, EORS with another, evening things out right now as Mooney is keeping the pressure on, but he's really low in that doorway. He needs to get some stabilization out as Banana is going to try to get an elimination.
100% here. I think finally Prosper finding their feet and trying to get themselves through the door. They're forcing them out of the hallway there. Lamore realizing they have to give up this first checkpoint. They are going to get their 2 minutes onto the clock here, so almost a 3. It may just be enough for them to continue pushing forward here, but it is a dangerous situation to be on the side of Prosper, as you see that pull, and I'm assuming that was from Slushy yet again, grabbing Magneto and taking him down.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those pulls. That's one of the most important techs of Winter Soldier, is being able to just completely displace somebody like that. It's a rare CC ability from a duelist character, so it's something that you just have to always be aware of. Kraken impact is out, but the Eternal Bond is through. Meteor M crashes down, taking it away from PISD, so their push is going to be coming to a halt. The invisible boundary is going to block off any sort of push that PISD can make right here, as Banana Boy and Mooney go on the aggression, or as Banana Boy goes on the aggression with Slushy. Mooney dives back in, Vastlight finding 1 on Thor, looking for another, and they're going to even things out here at the corner, as it's going to be a bit of a back and forth. Glartrox, Apex Predator not finding anyone just yet, as there's no eliminations for Banana Boy just at this moment.
100%, man. Lamore, the defense just so nice on their side. As you see Prosper keeping a pretty decent push here, but it seems like their momentum is starting to stop right here at this choke point. And oh man, this is gonna be a difficult one here for them to get through. Vaselight switch it on over, gonna be able to start fisting his way out. I don't know if it's gonna be enough to get his way out of the corner.
Yeah, it was an initially nice engagement there by Dud Guy on the Agamotto. Managed to find one, but got dropped down, and still, Lemore came out on top in the exchange despite getting a double kill after that. But they weren't able to secure anything more, as Lemore just has so much pressure on them right now, and PISD seems to still be trying to push the dive into this equation, but they're not really finding what they need to, as Noel Banana finds another from afar. Pickles is down.
Wow,
on bounce. No duelist for PISD. They are going to have to regroup as the members of Lemore just keep the offensive onslaught rolling.
This is a crazy checkpoint to kind of mount yet again. No Banana Boy finding count 3. Beautiful long range down the hall. And the range that they have on there, finding a double kill is insane. Gonna keep pushing forward. I love this.
Yeah, for a lot of people who don't know, this map for Convoy, this point in particular, if you do get the hold up, this is one of the hardest spawns to push out of. As Khonshu comes down, but the Raging Royal flushes through. Ford looking for the healer in the backline, doesn't get it. Vic Torsel protecting themselves, as Slushy is just going to retaliate with JMac. They still have ultimates available. Invisible Boundary is up again. Agamotto not able to find anybody, and Lemore is going to look to finish out this game one right here if they can.
That was insane. Prosper feeling the pressure here, knowing that it was a do-or-die situation, lets everything rip, and Lemore just holding it down without blinking. Death right in the face. Insanity for a great start here if you're a Lemore fan. Up 1-2 away from Grand Finals. Do not forget, guys, this is Division 1 Grand Finals. Winner gets an invitation to the Orlando National Champions in late June. So Lemore is 2 steps away from being able to achieve that prize and get that trip down to Orlando. With that being said, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Game 2 on the way.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here in the best of 5 grand finals between PISD and Lemoore, and it is an exciting series that we've got going on as Lemoore takes game 1 in this best of 5. Winner goes to the Orlando national stage, and it is going to be an interesting turn for PISD to get a retaliation out here. Huey, what do you think?
I mean, Lemoore really sent and brought a dominant performance here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I've seen Prosper earlier in the season, and this was a team to really look out for. So how strong Lemoore was able to really hold him down really speaks volumes of how strong Lemoore is. But I feel like, again, momentum is a huge factor in a lot of esports competitive scenes, especially among rivals. If Prosper isn't able to find something within this game too, I think Lemoore could possibly run away with a clean 3-0.
And we're already seeing some ban adjustments here, as we are, for those who don't see it, we are on Hell's Heaven Domination, so not Convergence or Convoy. This is going to be a minimum 2 maps that go back and forth, so teams will have opportunities to make some adjustments between each map for what they're wanting to run, but they're not going to be able to change these bans, and that Elsa is taken away. PISD is taking away the Elsa from Lemoore, so that is not going to be on the table for them to be able to use this time on them, as we are seeing the Gambit away as well, so no Raging Royal flushes coming through this time.
Yeah, no, it's a little unfortunate, but I think it's a good ban here. That backline was extremely difficult for Prosper to find their way through, and either side, Cajuns were really cooking up from either side, especially in Hell's Heaven for playing on Domination. This one, I think it's a really good ban.
Yeah, and I think one of the key bans that we're actually seeing here is that Magneto ban, as both teams liked running the Cloak and Dagger last time, and their, Eternal Bonds, it's a key thing for the Magnetos to hold on to that Meteor M4 to really just slam it down on them and take away those opportunities for engagement or protection. So that is going to make it a little bit different for the teams, as you won't have as many ways to deal with it. There are still ways to take out a Cloak and Dagger in their ultimate, but Meteor M has always been the most reliable.
I think so. Honestly, I think that's a really good call there. Take them off, force them to do something else here. Especially where we are. This is going to be a lot more enclosed battle. I think with how it being on Convoy, I think the Prosper was looking for that room, getting that space. I don't know. I'm really concerned for Prosper here. And here we go. We're out of the gates right now. We're looking for the fastball special. 4-9 looking for a little something.
Yeah, just still going with that dive presence here. They're running the Hulk Wolverine with the magic. The fastball not able to find anybody immediately off the rip, but that Angela is gonna look to be a problem here in the backline, as there is a spot on this map to be able to just shove people off. So you have to always keep your eye on the Angela's location, because that is going to be an easy, quick elimination for her at any moment, as we see 2 go off the map right away, and down goes Hulk. Null finding this Victor Soul, finding the Wolverine on the other side of it.
Crazy.
As Duke Guybro is going sick on the back line, diving in on the Angela. Slushy finding 2 once again, and they are pushing PISD back to their spawn.
I cannot believe I just watched Angela scoop 2 and drop them off screen there. This is evil, and a dude, bro, chill out, please. He is on a killing spree right now, finding a 3rd one, looking for his 4th victim here, flying and taking full control of the map, as we see Lemoore having already a quarter of the Dominion property already being held here. Insanity.
Yeah, 35% down for Lemoore. They're having a really good defense here, and they're having that really good defense through the acts of offense, as they're not letting PISD really get grouped together to make a push, but Pickle is not going to let that stop them as they find a pick on Slushy. Dude, Guybro trying to get the Wolverine off, not able to do so, though, as we are seeing life come through from PISD, getting the first kidnap away. Yes. J-Mac levitating out of range, is going to drop down with the Agamotto on the back line, finding both strategists behind the barrier, though. but it's not enough. J-Mac finding 2 as Fort finds 1, and it's still a bit of a back and forth exchange. This fight is not over yet. PISD still has a chance to take control of this point as the Star-Lord is just flying low and high back and forth to keep in range, and they're going to be able to fend off the pursuance of PISD, and that is not going to be a successful take.
Oh my gosh, Slushy
Great
again.
Stop by Lamore. Slushy on a rampage.
Crazy. It looked like there was finally some hope, a light here for, for the side of PISD, and it just was not they were not just able to secure the point. And the longer it took for them to secure the point, the more points Lamore got. Now at 97, they have to 3-4-man shove their way in. They are able to hold it down. Overtime coming in. They will be able to flip it at the 99.
Finally getting some time on to control. Slushy on the retreat, B-hop in his way out of things on that Star-Lord, and that is going to be the first time that Lamore has had to back off at this point. Now, they do have to be careful, PISD, as there is a very important ult for Lamore that is still available, but fortunately they do have the invisible boundary up for any push that Lamore makes, but you always got to watch out for that Psylocke Cutterfly diving in on your back line, as they can just take you out at any moment, and that's actually what Psylocke is looking for right now. Banana Boy wants those kills on this back line, as the bubble is already out by the Hulk, so there's no bubble available, and there it comes out. The invisible boundary is through in order to keep them alive, but Pickle still falls through all of the damage of that team, and Eeyores is going to have to back away from his own invisible boundary as he knows that the pressure is going to come through. Legendary pursuing the back line of PISD, and Lamore is just picking their team apart. Full pursuit by Slushy here, finding the Thor in the sky.
Nice reaction.
And Banana Boy is going to finish him off, and that is going to be the first map to Lamore in this 2-map exchange, this 3-map exchange for domination.
It was a intense exchange of blows here, but still again on top. Lamore just being able to get the point to 99, and Prosper able to flip it, get to 50, but that's just such a difficult hill to mount, and unfortunately Prosper not going to be able to get that momentum shifted properly, and now going to be 1 behind. Lamore has to be feeling pretty good. I'm telling you, these voice channels are night and day right now, and if you're a Lamore fan, you have to be getting excited right now. One more puts them 1 round away from getting and closing out grand finals.
And already we're seeing some adjustments here. Fort 9 looking to go onto that Star-Lord just to get some help on that dive that is available, but also the Star-Lord, the Star-Lord just constantly diving around, and, the auto-tracking of those squids is going to help with being able, at the very least, know where Banana Boy and Slushy are coming from at any moment. But, it's a lot of damage coming through by Lamore. They have 2 team wipe killable, duelist ults at their disposal, but Pickle not having gotten their ultimate off last round, and, has it available here. Dude, Guybro already going low. Darkchild coming through. This is what they're looking for. Diving in the back line. Mooney finds 1 on J-Mac, and that is going to be an aggressive start here by PSD as they take first control this time around. Darkchild pursuing Lamore back to their spawn.
This is exactly what you need from Prosper to come out of the gate nice and strong, hold down the point, and to show, like, hey, look, we're here in grand finals for a very good reason. We were number 1 in our group as well, too, and we're not taking this down lightly. I love to see this from the side of Prosper.
Yeah, but they have to, you can hear these footsteps right now. Looking for it on the back line was Pickle. Not going to be able to find it. They're going to have to back off. Slushy, though, picking 1 off on Fort 9. The Eternal Bond is through by Cal. They're going to look to carpet the point to protect their team. Sonic Seduction not able to find one, but J-Mac finding 1 on the Maelstrom. But there's going to fall. Pickle picking up 2, and that is going to be another fight win for PISD. But Slushy is still alive on the point. He's looking to actually take this 2v1 in the remainder, but does fall. Pickle there to clean it up. And that is going to be PISD retaining control, but Lamore is going to look to get back here quickly with a portal.
Really nice work here from the side of Prosper, holding down the point, able to get to 61. Let's see if Lamore will be able to flip this momentum to their side. 2 on the point there, rising it up to about 80. They will be able to find a pick. J-Mac being able to take down Fried Pickle, as they will hold down the defense. Prosper allowing... No, that is not going to be correct. Lamore able to flip that back and start allowing the point to rise up to their side.
Yeah, it looked like PISD just, they kind of just backed off and let them take that. They let Lamore burn the Eternal Boundary. Legendary through, looking to find one. Not quite able to finish off Fort, but is keeping the pressure on, keeping PISD pushed back into that corner, but not going to be able to find any eliminations at this time. But Banana Boy is not far from their ultimate as well, as we're having a bit of a brawl out here on the main entryway. No team able to really get a good push around this point. And it's just Slushy poking and prodding on the back line. Pickle finding one, though, on Dude Guybro, swapping over to that Hella off of the dive of the Magic. And the invisible boundary is out. Pickle looking to find a kill, but right now it's going to be all sustained for Lamore, as PISD is going to retaliate.
I like this response here. Able to flip back the point to their side. Oh, no. Yes, they do. They find 4. They will be able to hold it down, lock it down, and they should be able to push this point here into overtime very soon.
And that was a really good delay on the invisible boundary by PISD, letting them be able to get the advantage of having the longer lasting sustain on the point. Lamore had to pop it a little more aggressively as their team got pushed in on, and they had to use it to stabilize their team out. But, well done by PSC to able to hold off on that. They still have 3 support ults available. The Cutterfly comes through, but really low, dropping down. They hold on to the Eternal Bomb. They actually don't pop it. They save it late. 2 are already down, though, for PISD, as Pickle takes to the sky on the Hella and is already taken out of it. Fortnite finds Slushy. Psionic Seduction coming through by Lamore, as they are going to retaliate with their own Eternal Bond, and they are likely on the advantage here in this exchange, and they are going to push PISD right back off of the point and take control once again.
They might be able to do this here. The 99 flip. This is where Lamore was, or this is where Prosper fell. Will we see a repeat, or will Lamore be able to keep this momentum to their side? Either way, it has been a very explosive back and forth game 2 here, and I am excited to be here, and I hope everyone at home is enjoying everything that we are watching as well too, as Lamore bringing up their point to about 86% and counting.
Yeah, PISD looking a little bit at taking a split push here. We had the Thor on that high ground. Not sure what happened there to Victorall. It looked like they might have had a bit of an issue and walked forward into the fray of PISD. And Agamotto J-Mac looking to drop down on the back line, finds 2 at the very least, and that is going to be 2 down. All the ults coming out as PISD actually tried to protect it. Fort tried to drop down the Horn of Proteus to protect their back line, but wasn't able to find an elimination, and Lamore is still going to be able to hold on to control of this point, and they are going to take the second map as well.
Insane work there again, looking like Prosper understanding the assignment a little better, but unfortunately Lamore just being able to pick up, find that momentum, and bring us here to a 2-0 lead. Lamore 1 game away from getting that invitation to Orlando's national championship in late June. Will they be able to finish it with a clean 3-0, or will Prosper be able to mount back a 3 back-to-back-to-back comeback victory? Don't go anywhere, guys. You will find out very soon. Keep it locked.
Welcome back, everybody. We are in game 3 of this best of 5 for the grand finals between PISD and Lemoore. And it is currently a 2-0 lead for Lemoore. They're looking to close things out here in this game 3, but PISD made a good effort last game and are looking to turn things around this go-around. What are you hoping to see PISD adjust to, Huey?
They need to pick up and they need to do what Lemoore has been doing. Getting out of the gate, holding it down, and then just not looking back. Do not allow Lemoore to find a chance back into this game.
And they prioritized that Elsa there for the first ban to be taken away, as well as the Van Pool from the other side. So those are two key figures out, but we do see the Star-Lord present, which was what Slushy was running the show on last time, and the Gambit comes through as well for the other save. So now you're going to have the pair up of the Raging Royal Flush with the Legendary at their disposal. So that is going to be a very aggressive go combination at the disposal of Lemoore once again. So it's going to be interesting to see how PISD deals with that exchange.
I think so, honestly. And if they are able to handle the Star-Lord or be able to try to match it, I think they try to, but just, my gosh, Slushy has just been the all-star here for the side of Lemoore and the front line as well. Just overall, just has just been firing on all cylinders. It's a very difficult project here to kind of solve, but if anyone can do it, it is our boys here on the side of Prosper, and I wish them the best of luck as we start to see where the character picks are going down.
Yeah, and we are going to have PISD on defense first here for Convergence. We are going to Central Park, so that is a very tough chokehold to push through on that first point. They're going to look to hold things down with a triple Vanguard comp here. But, you know, we're actually seeing an interesting thing that we are seeing here is on this matchup, all of the, you know, synergy that is available for Gambit is available in this game. Not only does he have that pair up with Star-Lord, you know, that ult combination, just so aggressive and oppressive, the Magneto and the Rogue team-ups are available, and Rogue with that team-up becomes one of the best, if not the best, Vanguard in the neutral game with that team-up available. So it's going to be really interesting to see how PISD makes use of that, and if it's enough to give them that edge that they need.
I hope so. How do you feel for the Deadpool pick here on the side of Fort 9?
You know, Stratpool has an interesting play in it. It's a niche pick that people like to make at the start of rounds because you're able to get that ultimate so quickly, and it gives you the ability to have that initial fight win condition for the sustain. So we might only see them on it initially. We don't know if they're going to stick to it. Mooney looking for an early elimination, not going to find it, but it's going to be Lemoore just trying to kind of brute force their way in. The Penny Nest already down thanks to Dude Guybro with those walls, and they're just looking to box it out, and almost walled off was the Penny. And you know, Lemoore is forcing their way onto this point, scattering the members of PISD. Down goes Fort 9 and Cal. Two strikes down. Down goes Pickle. One after another. They fall. Lemoore looking to take this first point.
Almost a full ace there. The point's going to almost most definitely be secured there. 95 and a dream, and that is going to be a wrap. That was a near minute pickup there.
Yeah, they've got 5.5 minutes to work with almost here, moving into that second point, and they're already positioning for this first turn. But these are long angles to work with. There's a lot of room that, you know, PISD has to work with now. Mooney already swapping over to that Groot as well. Just to give them a little bit more stopping power to block off some of the pressure, but J-Mac is not relenting and is just continuing to keep the pressure up on this front line. They have so much damage available. We did manage to get a pick up by Mooney onto Banana Boy, so but the Entangling Grass comes through, looking to get another kill here, and they're just going to keep pushing on PISD as they manage to find one more. Guybro finds another Cal down as well, and the members of PISD continue to fall as Lemoore just keeps moving.
That was insane and beautiful. That's going to be the quadra there for Visceral there. My gosh, they are just not stopping. Lamore so comfortable in their position right now, looking for this first checkpoint as well too. You gotta give it to the group there. Even with Mooney swapping it over, it just does not seem they can find an answer here.
Oh, and they're not able to touch, and immediately Vasselite has to retreat. And, you know, the ult economy is just so advantageous for Lamore, and they're going to pop the Rage Royal Flush and go full aggressive, forcing the invisible boundary out.
That's 2 again?
But again, it's too late, as 2 members have already fallen for PISD, and they're actually going to be able to kill them through the invisible boundary.
No way.
Vasselite looking to find something for themselves, but Null Slushy is finding one after another on that Star-Lord once again, and they are just going to keep this moving into the chapel.
You mentioned it earlier, how well Slushy was playing on a Star-Lord, and they really were dominant through this entire series. And I gotta give it to them. The second round was really their show as well too. And then now through this third, just being able to lay down so much DPS damage across the board here. And then now Visceral finding another ultimate yet again with the Rising Phoenix with the quad. Wow, that was nearly all 6 members. And then now they all are now aura farming on the point, pushing it in. Limor looking fantastic with the first win here in Game 3.
That was a really great combination of Entangling Prism into the Ensong Inferno. They had everybody grouped up, so all those explosions go off for extra AoE damage, and it immediately found 3, and it just was lights out performance by Lamore. They have so much time on the clock, even if PISD pushes us the whole distance, you know, and it goes into overtime. They have probably at the minimum 4 minutes to work with in an overtime situation. So, you know, PISD needs to have a really aggressive showing here, being able to have a momentum role of their own.
It's going to be a hard one to mount. I got to say the pressure has to be on their side here. And, oh, this is a difficult situation to be in for sure.
They are going to roll out with the Moon Knight and the Punisher. Punisher, great for dealing with Groot walls, able to burn them down very quickly. Moon Knight brings a lot of pressure, especially if they do run multiple Vanguards, but that's not what Lamore is looking at. They're going to keep it with a nice 2-2-2 here. But, you know, the advantage of getting that Raging Royal Flush first and just having that synergy with Slushy is just something that is tough to deal with. So it's going to be interesting for PISD. They got to get an early pick and get the advantage on the point.
100% here. It is now definitely do or die situation here, and they're gonna have to do it extremely fast. It's gonna be a hard one to do. I like this Moon Knight pick. As you can start to see the damage start to come out here. Mooney trying to set up and do what we saw Dude Guy Bro
PISD is they're now going to have to regroup here at their spawn. Slushy just holding this off angle, poking at that back line, building up his own ult charge. In the meantime, Fort9 is available with the Khonshu now, so he's looking to get something here in just a moment, but Slushy is just holding the high ground over and over, working these angles, constantly moving to an out of line of sight position from above, and that just is keeping all of PISD on their head on a swivel. But you know, we are going to see Fort9 find 2 off of the Khonshu ultimate, and Slushy in full retreat now, and this is PISD coming alive, looking to take control of the point. Lamore is going to go for a quick portal here on the exchange for that respawn, and they're going to look to stall this out really quickly as Banana Boy staggers it for just a moment.
And this is exactly what they need to do. 2/3 already accomplished, looking at 90%, but Lamore able to come back here. Cal trying to get these cards flushing. I don't know if it's going to be enough, as you do see Zambi putting out the damage through the portal, finding 2, finding 3. They're going to stop them from securing the convoy. And I gotta say, by this moment, Lamore was already about 1/3 pushing through the first point.
And that's a really tough situation for PISD, and that's it right now because Lamore has such an advantage in the ult economy. They only burned their Raging Royal Flush there. J-Mac is a little behind because he swapped to Doctor Strange, but he's going to have it ready to go when the time comes through for this engagement, so they're going to have to watch out for that Agamotto. But fortunately, Fort9 is already back out, but right from above, Slushy goes, but the best of both worlds, both worlds coming out right there by Fortnite to keep them alive, and Vastlight going through with the Judge, Jury, Executioner.
Nice.
Prison out, finding the Agamotto.
Nice.
It's not going to be enough. Vastlight with 2 huge saves for them. Pickle finding 1, and they are going to look to take control of this point and finally advance it.
Oh, finally! I think they can breathe a slight fresh breath air here for these guys. It was a very difficult beginning, but still have plenty of time here to get this going and starting to flip this fight ahead as Prosper finding their opening and hopefully have enough momentum to try to close this one out and get to overtime.
Such an aggressive move by Slushy.
It works though. As you just see it, man. Good movement just all over the place. Pressuring on the Pickles here. Sees 4, repositioning. Goes back, actually. No, realizing he's not being chased here. Looking for a flank onto it. Being able to find it on Essos. Letting it spin, but a good freeze. They should be able to secure and find the pick on the Slushy. Really nice work.
Great freeze by Oars there. That's what they needed. That alleviates a lot of their pressure right now as Khonshu comes through. Fortnite finding 2, and here is the momentum that PISD needs as they're going to move up. They're going to look to chase down this backline if they can stagger out the Gambit. They do. Pickle with a great elimination there, and is going to actually secure down once more Slushy in order to keep the stagger going and gain some more distance on this second checkpoint.
That was amazing there from Fried Pickle there. Able to find 2 and get them stalled out a bit to give them plenty of time to try to get into this checkpoint here. As we do see one member of Prosper fall, Arrow's going to be able to pick up 2 at least.
That's actually a great stop by Prosper right there. Being able to kill Victor Soul through the invisible boundary in order to make it be taken away from the point and not allow Lemore to be able to push out of that hallway. So now we're on to the 3rd point, and while PISD won't have as much time to work with as Lemore, they are getting some nice momentum rolling here, and they are going to be able to have the chance to move into this throne room without having to worry about overtime anytime soon.
They need to continue pressuring and applying this pressure and continuing mounting this momentum against Lemore. If they want to continue and have a chance to get to this, they have to still clear this, and knowing that they have to go into overtime, it's going to be a difficult one to be, but we just watch a triple kill go all the way through Banana Boy and Slushy in that small choke point there, forcing PISD to freeze and reset here.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time until PISD was going to end up having to reset with how aggressively they were trying to push up on that point. But, Slushy ready and waiting to punish that. Fortnite went down early in that exchange. Judge Your Executioner looking to come through and take out some pressure in that midpoint, but they got to keep him alive as he's being hit from above by the Phoenix. They're going to try to take him out in it. And here comes the Meteor M, and he's going to slam it down. J-Mac finds 2, including the Groot. Cal being able to take out Slushy, but J-Mac is going to look to pursue and takes out Eeyore. So that is going to be Strategist down, finding another. J-Mac with the quad. He is Magneto.
He is the king of mutants, and he is showing as to why being able to pick up a little bit of that Judge, Jury, Executioner to make that Meteor M a little more powerful there, and just being able to pick up 3 after really just kind of showing where the mental Lemore is at. They are still very comfortable. Fortnite falling again from 2. Dude guy bro finding 2 right now, and I think this may be the last few moments here of Prosper, unless they're able to mount some of this momentum and find the comeback that they need.
Yeah, they still have a little bit of time to work with, and they can always make a last-second portal play, but, losing that exchange with the Raging Royal Flush as it came through on both sides, that's a tough neutral exchange for them to lose. The Entangling Prism is out, and they have them all grouped up, but Fortnite is going to drop Khonshu down to protect their team and make them all back out. Fortunately, Fate of Both Worlds was up as well to stabilize them, but Pickle finding 1, but not before Slushy takes out 4-9, and Slushy is just hanging up from above, looking for these picks. The payload is all the way back by the doorway still. Actually, they've managed to push it all the way back. PISD working from scratch of that second checkpoint with less than a minute to go, so that is going to be a difficult time. Slushy just working his way to the flank, trying to find another elimination.
As you see the Phoenix being held down, looking for it. They're going to bring it down. Boom! Big damage, but not going to be able to as clean as it was last time, but this might be exactly what they need to find the reset and to get Lamar into overtime, as that's going to be 5 there. Lamar just so good under pressure. They do not blink in the face of death, and again, they have faced it and have conquered it yet again.
Yeah, and we're seeing Lamore position right now to not allow them to be able to get the portal off, as Banana's looking for that stun on it to stop it. They're trying to protect it, but they're not able to stop it. Portal is out,
Here it comes.
and they are making a push here, but Banana Boy has the backside flank available on the Phoenix, and Judge and Executioner coming through, and it's just ults being unleashed on both sides. Slushy looking to end things here, as he's going to
nice
find 2.
triple.
J-Knock with 2 as well. Triple for Slushy, and it is going to be a wipeout by Lamore, and they are going to close out this best of 5 with a clean 3-0.
GG's. Well played. Prosper came out strong, but unfortunately Lamar just did it a bit better. A dominant 3-0 in a grand finals, becoming VHEL's Division 1 grand finals champions. Congratulations to these boys. They're going to be able to go to Orlando National Champion in late June. Please be safe. Enjoy your trip. And a
point, but Lamore got it together. You know, they stopped the push and they got regrouped and they ceased any of that momentum that PISD had, and Slushy just went to work on that Star-Lord once again. That team up with Gambit just so oppressive to deal with. So going to be interesting to see them perform in June at Nationals to see how they take on everybody else.
Yeah, and of course, a huge shout outs to everyone there. We all wish you the best, but that is it for us tonight. Be sure to follow the socials and be in the Discord to follow when we will be on next. But thank you all for watching, and we will see you then, and good night.